Hi everybody. This lovely fruit over here is called quince. Quince is a fruit that looks similar to apple, but it has a harder skin. The aroma that it has is quite heavenly. This fruit comes from Iran, Turkey, possibly Greece, and recently, in recent years, because of its popularity and the amount of goodness that is embedded in this fruit, countries such as US grow it in California, for example, in San Juan Valley, or it is also imported from Chile. Today's food is a sort of like a stew that is made with meatballs, quince and prunes, and it owes its sort of peachy color to saffron and the copper that is found in the quince itself. Quince is antioxidant. It is good for people that suffer from IBS because it improves the condition of your bowels. It has vitamin B6, vitamin C, riboflavin. It has copper, iron, and potassium. I have about 1 pound or half a kilo of ground beef here. As you know, meat has its own smell that we need to treat, and for that I have grated 1 large onion. I have let it sit over here for the water to sort of leave the onion. I'm going to be adding the onion to the meat, and I'm going to add about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of each of these spices that you can see. I want my meatballs to be nice and sticky. For me to make it sticky, I'm going to use 1 egg yolk in here, plus 1 tablespoonful of this rice flour that I have that is gluten-free. That's what I use, but you can use any flour. This stew owes its peachy color to saffron and turmeric. So it's important for me to go over how saffron is made a little bit. This is about 2 grams of saffron. Saffron is a flower that gives an amazing color and aroma to Persian foods. So basically the way we prepare it is this powder goes into a contraption like this, and we grind it as such. Then we pour the saffron in here and add some hot water. For about every 1 gram of saffron, we add about half a cup of hot water. This is a leftover saffron that I had from before. Since saffron is very expensive, I usually keep it in jars like this in my fridge, and I use it multiple times. Sometimes when saffron sits in the fridge, you will see that the color gets thicker and it gets much darker, and therefore we can extract more saffron if we add some hot water to it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly that. And as you can see, we now are, what a mess. Okay, saffron is not something that you want to waste. Okay, so I'm just gonna get something. I'm gonna get this and empty my leftover saffron. Okay, so here we go. I have this much saffron now. To prepare the meatballs, we're adding the grated onions to the meat, and we are going to squeeze them together. If there's any big pieces of onion in there, you can remove them. So now we're adding the egg yolk to make our meatball mixture a little sticky, followed by the flour that we're gonna add. So the next step is to add salt. Just add salt depending on your taste. Onion powder, turmeric. Next is cumin, and then cardamom. And last but not least, lemon and pepper. So now, after the meat mixture is completely mixed, we turn them into little balls, little meatballs. Warm up the oil. It's about 2 tablespoonfuls of hot oil in our skillet. And once one side of the meatball is fried, we'll turn it around to make sure it's cooked all around. And then we will add the saffron and hot water to it. This is about 1 cup of saffron. The next step is to lower down the temperature. Once it comes to a sizzle, we'll just lower the temperature and cover up the meat to allow it to cook slowly. While the meatballs are sizzling in the saffron and water, we come and cut up the quince. Quince turns brown very quickly, and that's why I usually don't cut it up ahead of time. I cut it right before I'm ready to use it. The quince seed has medicinal properties for treating cough. So I usually take this part away and keep the seeds, soak it in water, and it gives off a glaze that makes a very good cough syrup, a very natural one. Quince is a large fruit, so having only 2 quinces in this stew gives you this much material to work with. So this food that we're preparing would feed about maybe 6 guests. We're warming up 2 tablespoonfuls of olive oil to saute the quince. This is hot oil, and the quince needs to soften before we start adding it to the stew. And we're adding dashes of turmeric to it. Add the salt to your heart's desire, maybe a pinch. Traditionally, we use sugar and lemon to give taste to this food. However, since we live in North America and this sauce is available, I really like using sweet Thai chili. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit sort of hot spicy, and it's very suitable for this dish. Adding the prunes to sauteed quince. So we had 2 tablespoonfuls of oil. The quince got sauteed, and we added 12 pieces of prunes. In the meanwhile, we will add the chickpeas with the syrup or with the glaze that it has in the can to the meat mixture. Now we're adding 2 tablespoonfuls of the sweet chili sauce to the quince, and we make sure that it's coated all around, and we add about 6 to 7 tablespoonfuls of the meat stew to help dissolve the sauce. So we'll eventually mix up everything together, but right now we're just trying to season the quince. We're squeezing half a lemon, half a lime, dividing it into 2 mixtures.
into both skillets. And now that the quinces have softened a little bit, we are going to add everything together and let it simmer for about half an hour until the juice thickens. There is going to be a glaze appearing, as you can see at the end. Half an hour has passed. The quince is soft. Chickpeas were cooked anyways. The meat is still intact, but it's completely cooked along with the prune.
Okay friends, it's time to eat the food, and I just want to say that this is a sweet and sour food because of the sauce that we added, and also because of the taste of the quince itself. However, just remember that everything has, it depends on your own taste. If you like it more sweet, add more sauce. If you like it more sour, add more lemon. Now, I like it just the way I showed you the recipe. This has come together really well. So I'm just going to just taste a little bit of this food and test it for you. So basically with every spoon, I like to have a little bit of each ingredient in my palate. So here we go. A little bit of meat, a little bit of rice, a little bit of everything. I highly recommend this food. Bon appetit. See you next time.